Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some interesting things to go over. We have some new hints towards a potential Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon event that could be happening very soon. We also have some new Nintendo Switch 2 details to go over, Pokemon Go leaks. There's a lot of stuff to break down and get into today. So if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content, ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, let's go over these new hints towards a potential Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon event that could be happening very soon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And there's two things that point to this potential event. So we have Soul Silver out here tweeting out, saying, put these two things together, is a Shiny Koraidon and Shiny Miraidon release for Pokemon Go a possibility? I don't know much about Pokemon Go, other than it seems to be doing so well, or not seems to be doing so well. Imagine their Shinies debuting there. So I don't think the Shinies are going to be popping up in Pokemon Go. I think it's personally going to be an event for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet where we can get a Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon. So let's take a look at the first bit of evidence. So we do have Blaine's here tweeting out. So basically he uploaded a video showcasing Shiny Koraidon and Shiny Miraidon way back in like 2022 when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet dropped. And he said, fun fact, Pokemon just today blocked my YouTube video showcasing Shiny Miraidon and Shiny Koraidon, which was published on November the 22nd, 2022. He then quote retweeted it saying, now that I think about it, since this video is so old and the effort to block this is so obscure, Pokemon might be, huge maybe, preparing for a Shiny Koraidon and Shiny Miraidon event. And this goes hand in hand with the whole Petulant thing as well. Like, a lot of content creators had their Petulant videos blocked days before the Petulant event was announced. Myself included, you know, I went over the data mines for Petulant, which is a new mythical Pokemon in Gen 9, and my video got blocked. A few other people's videos got blocked, and that is because the event was literally right around the corner. So what this could be, because it's really random, like them just going out of nowhere to going and blocking a video that was uploaded in 2022 about Shiny Koraidon and Shiny Miraidon. Because obviously when we take a look back to Pokemon Sword and Shield, we got Shiny Zacian and Zamazenta through an event. Like, it was through codes, like through emails, or you had to go into like a game shop or whatever. But there were basically events for those shiny legendaries. So they could be doing that exact same thing again, and it could be getting announced on like Pokemon Day or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon event around the corner. However though, there's also been some leaks in Pokemon Go. So data mine, the following Pokemon have been added internally to Pokemon Go. So Poipol's been added, Naganador's been added, Stakataka, Blacephalon, Zeraora, Annihilate, Wo-Chien, Chien-Pao, Tinglu, Chi-Yu, Koraidon's Apex form, Miraidon, and Miraidon's Ultimate form. If you're thinking and wondering what Apex and Ultimate forms are, it's basically their like final form. So obviously you have the forms before they like eat those sandwiches, which is their like basic form, and then obviously they have their like powerful form and stuff. So they're going to be appearing in raids, and they very well could be shiny. And that wouldn't be crazy to assume that either. But I think there's also going to be events for Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon in the base game of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because not everybody's going to be able to do a Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon event. Like, you obviously have to be really lucky, you got to like pay for it and stuff, like for extra raid passes in Pokemon Go. So it could just be where on Pokemon Day next month they announce these events. But yeah, maybe there's codes for Shiny Koraidon in game, and then there's also a Pokemon Go event for Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon. But it wouldn't surprise me if all these dropped on like Pokemon Day or were like announced on Pokemon Day. And then we also have Soul Silver saying, with or without Pokemon Go, after this, I'm very much on the lookout for a Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon distribution, maybe on Pokemon Day. However, I'd imagine putting them in a Scarlet and Violet raid makes a lot more sense. I don't think they'll put it in a raid personally, and if they did put it in a raid, I don't think it'd be like a shiny. I think it would, I don't really see why they would do it in a raid. Like, that'd be way too generous from Pokemon. And I know they just gave us like the Mew and Mewtwo event, but for like a Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon to be in it, like, there's no way they would do that, because they don't benefit from that. You know, they can easily paywall it in Pokemon Go, or they can put it in like a distribution thing or something like that. Like, they don't benefit from just putting it in raids. Yeah, they get people to play the game, but they're clearly not bothered about that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have shiny locked all the legendary Pokemon in the first place. And then we also have Soul Silver saying an important note about Centro's tweet. Always important to take whatever they post with a grain of salt. This also means the Pokemon Go situation is less likely, and I'm guessing the info originally came from Matt, but like he said, we wouldn't know because there's no credit. So basically, Centro, as he always does, steals information, stole it from Matt, who was the original person that posted this information. So obviously saying we credit people only if they don't block us. So these were not added internally today. They've existed for months. They had more move data pushed today. So they have had like an update to these Pokemon, but it basically means that the Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon in Pokemon Go is less likely. But they are going to be in the game soon, but it's less likely they're going to get shiny forms. I just don't understand why Pokemon would go out of the way to block this video that came out in 2022. It just generally makes no sense. And especially because of the whole Petulant thing. They're clearly on the lookout for videos that are like spoiling things before the event goes live. So I think it's very likely that we are going to get a Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon event very, very soon, just like we did with Zacian and Zamazenta. And that was, I'm pretty sure, like a couple of years after the Sword and Shield games came out. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, if we get any kind of announcement about it, I will let you guys know. But Pokemon Day could be when they announce something like this. Anyway, though, that's the Shiny Legendary portion of the video. Let's go over the Switch 2 stuff. So we've had a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 details recently. Been posting, like, information about them in separate videos. But this article here basically goes over all the main things you need to know about the Nintendo Switch 2. So this was posted on Eurogamer, saying everything we know about Nintendo's next console. So it's been almost 7 years, yada yada yada. It's just talking about like the figures that the Switch is doing. Obviously, it's not selling as well now, and that's because obviously pretty much everyone owns one. And there's a lot of rumors going around about this Switch 2. So the Switch 2 release date and price. So the Switch 2 is expected to launch in the second half of 2024. That's according to a report from VGC, with our own sources saying a release date is expected then as well. So it's looking likely that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be getting announced very, very soon, and then it's going to be coming out in the second half of 2024. This timeline also fits in with previous comments from the Kyoto-based gaming giant, with Nintendo president explaining during an investors call last year that the Switch makers aren't planning on launching new or upgraded hardware before April 2024. It could get announced before April 2024, which it's most likely going to, but it's actually going to be releasing in the second half of 2024. They've also reportedly penciled in the second half of 2024 as a release window for its next generation console, so there's plenty of stock available at launch in an effort to avoid the type of stock shortages that plagued the PS5 and Xbox Series X when those systems hit shelves. So if you're looking for a more definitive date to mark down in your diaries, hopes were raised that a narrower release window for Nintendo's next console was narrowed down during CES. During an event, a press release for an AI-powered successor to GameShark was shared that announced it was launching alongside the Switch 2 in September 24. We've obviously covered this. That was just a guess, though. I don't think that was like actual concrete information. And then in terms of price, the Switch 2 is predicted to cost around $400, with games apparently going to be pricing at $70. That's according to obviously respected and founders and stuff of different game companies. But again, this $70 price tag is going to be for like the main games. For like your spin-offs and stuff and like remasters and stuff, I don't think they're going to be $70. I'm talking about like the 3D Mario games, your big Pokemon games, your Zelda games, your Kirby games, all stuff like that. Like all the big Nintendo games are going to be around $70. So talking about the specs, we've got an idea of what the Switch 2 will be capable of. So Nintendo's next console was a demo behind closed doors at the event. According to our sources of VGC report, is believed to be capable of visuals comparing to the PS5 and Xbox Series X, support for ray tracing and the ability to run Unreal Engine 5. So it's going to be like visuals apparently similar to like the PS5, but the hardware is going to be similar to the PS4. Which is absolutely fine by me, you know. The hardware being PS4, but being handheld at the same time, absolutely ridiculous, like, that they are able to do that. Games that were reportedly showcased was obviously, like, Matrix and stuff, Matrix Awakens. Like, obviously, just, we've already covered all that stuff. It's just a couple of games that may have been showcased that may be on the Switch 2. We're just not too sure yet. With the Switch 2, while the Switch 2 may be capable of visuals comparable to the current generation of consoles, doesn't mean the specs will be in the same ballpark. VGC explained the Switch 2 demo was believed to be running with NVIDIA's DLSS upscaling. The technology expected to be a major feature of the custom NVIDIA chip that leakers have said will power the Switch 2. Digital Foundry has taken a deep dive into this chipset and discussed how DLSS can be used to upscale native 720p visuals into 4K, among other things. So 4K would be ridiculous on a Switch 2. In terms of raw horsepower, it's thought that on paper the Switch 2 could be closer to the specs of obviously PS4 and stuff that we've already spoken about. And then in emails and stuff, explained that Nintendo's console had closer alignment to Gen 8 platforms in terms of performance. So how could the Switch 2 has been reported to be capable of ray tracing and running Unreal Engine 5? Looking at the raw horsepower factors out so much of what makes a piece of hardware unique, and a clear example of that is the original Switch had similar horsepower to the Wii U and Xbox 360, and we've all seen that the system is capable of. It's important to point out, for the part, Nintendo has denied briefing external developers on the Switch 2 and showcasing their next console at Gamescom in 2023. The denial came after the publication of the Activision emails. Of course, they're going to deny it though, because they don't want it to leak that. Like, imagine if they came out and like said, yeah, they did see the Switch 2 stuff. Like, that would just confirms that we're getting a Switch 2. Obviously, they're going to deny it. And then the Switch 2 design and features. So this is a really cool tweet here that I don't think we covered by Laura Kate, who posted this way back when in September, basically saying, interesting Switch 2 news. Nintendo has patented a new controller design that seems to include magnetic Hall effect analog sticks. No guarantees, but if this is for Switch 2, this should end analog stick drift issues next gen. The timing feels about right for Nintendo patent filings to be pretty directly for the next gen hardware. If these are included as default on the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, it will basically do away with stick drift as a concern. So obviously on the Nintendo Switch, we have had a lot of Joy-Con drift, myself included. Like, mine is absolutely terrible right now. The only reason I'm not getting them fixed is because the Switch 2 is right around the corner, so there's no point in getting them fixed when the Switch 2 is going to be out. So hopefully this means that the Switch 2 is not going to have any Joy-Con drift at all, which is absolutely huge. And then obviously other things as well. It's going to be portable mode or docked. However, fans hoping the next-gen console will come with an upgraded display like the Switch OLED may be left disappointed. The Switch 2 could have an LCD screen instead of an OLED panel to help cutting costs, which is a bit unfortunate. The extra wiggle room in the budget could then be used to add the additional internal storage for the Switch 2, needs for modding games. So in terms of what type of storage the Switch 2 could use, that thinks Nintendo could opt for an eMMC storage, which is what the entry-level 64GB Stream Deck uses and offers faster load times than conventional hard drives, but not as speedy as SSD. Elsewhere, VGC also reports that the next Nintendo console will come with a cartridge slot for physical games, but it's unclear whether it will be backwards compatibility. I think there's been other rumors as well that have stated that it is going to be backwards compatibility, but obviously we'll have to wait and find out. In terms of other features, the Switch 2 could come with an upgraded Joy-Cons. That obviously that's just them talking about what Laura said there. And then in terms of Switch 2 games, obviously like stuff that's already been showcased, like Matrix Awakens and stuff like that, which very well could be what we get. There's going to be a lot of remasters like Bayonetta, Monster Hunter as well have been very heavily reported to be Switch 2 games. It's already in the hands of key partners, could be in the process of getting ported over. Speaking of Unreal, it's also been claimed that a PS5 quality of version of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is powered by Epic's UE4 engine, it is up and running on a Switch 2 dev kit. So Final Fantasy VII could even be coming to Switch 2. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as like the PS5 version, but it's still going to be like something that we could see. In terms of potential first-party releases, we had to gaze into our crystal ball. So this is just like guesses and stuff like Metroid Prime 4 and stuff, but again, it's been rumored that we're going to get a new Mario game, like 3D Mario game that's going to be like open world and stuff like that. So those are all of like the biggest rumors and the most likely rumors for the Switch 2, kind of all rolled up in one. Again, we are very much expecting this to be announced very soon. Again, a leaker has said they are expecting it to be announced before the end of March. And obviously we're mid-January right now, and we have got a Nintendo Direct coming up as well. Whether that Nintendo Direct is going to showcase the Switch or not, I'm not sure. I feel like it makes sense to drop it in a Nintendo Direct, because obviously everyone's going to be watching it, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, that's going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered in today's video. What are your thoughts on this potential Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon event? And of course, what are your thoughts on all the Switch 2 stuff? But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.